Planty people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wanted to talk about my current 2020 wish list plants. And I know I have gone into great detail, great length of what my wish list plants are for Hoyas specifically, but I really wanted to narrow in and talk about my specific all across the board like Philodendron, Anthurium, Begonia. I wanted to get it all out there, and there are two Hoyas in there as well, but I really wanted to talk about all the plants that I want to magically appear on my front doorstep. So let's get into it. I have 11 plants that I have top tier, I need these bad boys so bad. And 5 of them are philodendrons, so I figured I'd just go ahead and get into that right now. With the first one being a philodendron white wizard. Now, why a white wizard and not a white knight? Well, funny you should ask that. I really like how the white wizards seem to have more of a how would you describe it? A more circular type of leaf. I feel like it looks more chunky and more like ovally as opposed to the white wizard, which seems more of your typical, not typical type of philodendron, but I think that it kind of, I think it's kind of more similar to like a pink princess type of leaf. And I am more head over heels for the more circular type of leaf. And I really love the variegation on the white wizard because the white just comes in almost like absolutely no color whatsoever. And I don't think you see that very often in plants that are variegated. Obviously, you see a lot of white, but not that like pure crisp white that the white wizards have. Number 2 is a Philodendron lupinum. Now, I've been wanting this guy for a minute. He's been on my wish list all year long, and I have definitely had opportunities to get this guy, but it's just like, it's not worked out. Whenever I've had the extra money, I haven't found one that was like, I felt was worth it. And the days that I did have the money, there wasn't one that was being sold, so there's that. But I just absolutely freaking love the transformation that this plant goes through from whenever it's a small immature leaf. It's like your basic little heart leaf, and it just completely transforms into this big magical philodendron with lobes, and it's just like, it is stunning, and I really need one in my life. So my third philodendron is going to be the Philodendron Florida Ghost. Now, I feel like this is definitely a little bit more of a common type of wish list plant, but I have never seen any of these sold. I have never seen one in person ever before. I think it's just magical how the leaves unfurl this like minty white, it's just a crazy little transformation that it goes through. It starts off like the minty white and then it turns green over time. And it doesn't just like magically turn green within a day span. I think it takes several weeks, maybe months. I don't know, because I've never owned one. I would definitely love to own one of those beauties because I just think that it would just like add a nice hint of variegation into my collection. I really don't have a whole lot of variegated plants now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I really don't have that many variegated plants. We'll have to rectify that. Okay, so this next philodendron, I don't have a ton of information on, and I've never seen it in person before, and I've only ever seen it listed on Equigenera, and it is Philodendron Bombs. I could totally be butchering that, but hopefully you guys can figure that out in how to say it in the title that I have listed. But I just love, it also, I feel like there's a trend going on. It also goes through a slight transition. It looked like in the pictures that Equigenera posted on their site, it looks like the immature leaves come in this really nice, pretty like lighter green color, and it almost looks like the veinings on the plant are like bluish, which, you know, I don't know for 100% if that is like just the picture quality or if that's the actual plant, like if there was any editing done to, you know, the picture to make it look like that. But I just think that it looks really, really cool. I think as it matures, it also develops some lobes, and I just think that that is probably the one of the, I have two plants that probably aren't commonly heard of, but that is one of the two plants that I never see listed anywhere, and I would love to add that to my collection. So if anybody has any idea of anybody who's trading or selling or anything like that other than Ecuagenera, let your girl know. Okay, and this is going to be my last philodendron for my wish list. And this is probably my main wish list plant. Like, it is so stupid expensive. Like well, actually the white wizard is also crazy expensive too, but I would rather have this one over the white wizard if I had to choose. I think that this one is my #1 wish list plant at the moment, and it is the Philodendron Xoxo red. Oh my god. The Philodendron Xoxo red is so stunning, and I actually learned really recently because I thought that I hadn't actually seen one in person, but whenever I did my Ecuagenera tour, I thought that I was just seeing verrucosums because that's what they were labeled as. And I guess I kept on picking up the verrucosums, and I'm like, oh, I keep thinking that this is an Xoxo. I thought that this was a Xoxo. But they're labeled as verrucosums, but they're a type of verrucosum, and I had absolutely no idea. Thank God for you guys in the comment section who could educate me on that, because I had no idea that I was actually even touching Xoxos. I wish I could go back. I'll probably go back, but I wish I could go back in time and just like know that I was touching Xoxos just then, because it would have been such a life-changing moment. But I just love how beautiful and big the heart leaves can get. I love that the backs are that beautiful red. I cannot get enough of that plant. I can't wait for the prices to come down, because they like range from like $400. I think that's like the cheapest thing. I think that's the cheapest retail that I've seen them listed for, because I don't ever see anybody sell like just regular cuttings or nodes or anything like that around here in the US or in Florida. I only usually see like fully established plants, and so I usually, whenever you buy fully established plants, that's where it's really going to cost you some extra moolah. Okay, so that is going to be it for the philodendron section. Next up is the Anthurium section, and I only have 2 Anthuriums listed because I actually just recently got my, it's like peeping right there, I actually just got my #1 Anthurium wishlist plant maybe a few weeks ago, whenever I hit 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much again. But I actually got that, so I only have 2 Anthuriums that I would really like to have, and the first one I want to talk about is the Anthurium magnificum. Now, I love the Anthurium magnificum, and I think that you can get them in a green version and a dark green version, and also I think that sometimes they can resemble what the crystallinum can look like. I don't think that the veining on them is usually quite as prominent, but the leaves get just monstrous. They just get so huge, and I'm here for it. I am just trying to expand my collection with bigger aroids. I know that Hoyas were kind of like my gateway, and a lot of Hoyas are like, you know, really small leaved. So now I'm just really transitioning into some more bigger leaf foliage, and I'm here for it. I'm living and breathing for it. Anthurium magnificum, no idea where I would put it if I had one, but I can still want one, right? They are just so gorgeous and so pretty. I would love to add that to my collection. Okay, so the next and last Anthurium that I would really like to have, which I actually just recently discovered within the month, and that is the Anthurium splendidum. Splendidum. And oh my god. I'm gonna show you a picture like right here, what actually drew me into this plant. It is just so beautiful and reptilian-like. It makes me kind of think of a cross between just like a regular heartleaf type of philodendron and a cross between that and a Monstera Peru with that kind of texture, but like even more so textured. I just think that they look super duper cool. But the con of that plant is going to be that it is going to require a ton of humidity. So like rare begonia, like sensitive begonia type of humidity. But I would still love to give it a try. And these are also seem to be pretty uncommon because I've only seen maybe 2 listings, but I haven't been looking for a really long time either. But the listings that I have seen of them are like $300. So I don't think that I'll ever be having that anytime soon, but it'll be my #1 Anthurium that I would love to obtain at some point in time. Okay, so next is the Hoya section, and I love Hoyas. I mean, come on, my name is Heather Hoyas, for crying out loud. So my #1 wishlist Hoya at the moment is Hoya Sarawak. And oh my god, Hoya Sarawak is so freaking beautiful. I will show you the picture right here that like really freaking drew me in. And I know probably a lot of you probably follow this Instagram handle and have seen this Hoya. And the sun-stressed leaf was what really drew me in. I'm not like a huge like person that says like, oh, all my Hoyas have to be sun-stressed. Like I only want sun-stressed Hoyas. I sun-stress my Hoyas all day, every day. No, I don't really care. If it sun-stresses, then it sun-stresses. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So I don't even care if this Sarawak ever sun-stresses. I hope that the lighting isn't too terrible. I use natural lighting and it got really cloudy all of a sudden, so bear with me for a minute. But I just love how big and like palm size it is. I think it just looks so cool and veiny, and yeah, the picture really says it all. Okay, and my next and last Hoya that I would love to obtain would be Hoya villosa. Hoya villosa is like I'm trying to think of what I would compare it to. It is a nice long-leafed Hoya, but it also is ripply on the edges with really dark veining, and it has really nice and shiny leaves. I'd almost compare it to a Calistophyllum, but maybe a dark, shiny, rippling version. So it's just like completely opposite of what a Calistophylla is. But I just think that they're so cool, and I would love to have one of these. And my last 2 plants that I would like to obtain are begonias, and one of them I'm sure you probably heard of. It is the Begonia chloristicta red form. They're very exotic. I've heard that they're very difficult to propagate, so I don't really see a lot of them circulating, and usually whenever I do, they're up for auction and not really up for like an actual specific set price. I did recently get a chloristicta green form, which is actually doing quite well under my little terrarium or under my little cloche setup that I have it under. But the red form is just like exotic to a max. It really like the red form looked at the green form and was like, I can do better. And look at, like, it is so cool, so neat. I would love to have one and add it to my begonia collection, because I really don't have very many begonias. Like, if I'm gonna get a begonia, it's gonna be a begonia that I absolutely love just as much as my Begonia amphioxus, which, if you look back at some really old footage that I have, it was my #1 wish list plant for a while that I unboxed. So yeah, go check that video out. Okay, so this next one is my last plant that I have on my wish list, and it is a begonia, and it is called, I'm probably butchering it, it is Begonia teratiformis. Now, I'm definitely gonna link the name right here, but it is so cool. It almost looks like jaggedy, like it'll cut you if you look at it the wrong way, which is kind of like why I like the Begonia amphioxus so much, is because it looks like it'll hurt you if you touch it or something like that. But I have never, ever, 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 ever seen this listed for sale. I've only seen it on Instagram a time or two, and I just think that it is like the most exotic and cool looking begonia that I have ever seen, and I would absolutely love to have this to my collection. I would get a terrarium just specifically for this begonia. It is just that freaking cool. Let me know if you ever seen that begonia circling around, because I need it in my life, okay? So that is going to be the end of my current wish list for 2020. If any of you guys have any of these current plants, please let me know if you would like to trade for any of the things that I have. I know I probably don't have anything that's as cool as the plants that I've listed in my wish list, but you know, you never know. Let me know down below if these are on your wish list. What is on your wish list? Because I would love to add to my wish list. I love learning about new plants and learning about new things that I might like, and just, you know, chit-chatting and communicating with you guys. So, but that is going to be it for today's video. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button, and of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time.